Queens. Welcome back to another episode of Faith Helps Podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Diamond Booth. And I just want you to listen in on this episode in particular. If you have ever struggled with forgiving yourself over something you've done, if you have been beating yourself up over the mistakes from your past, if you are living with regrets, I want you to open up both ear canals and listen in, all right? I was listening to a interview with Vibes Cartel, aka Real Boss. If you don't know who he is, I need you to come on up out of whatever rock you are living under and come get some oxygen. It's beautiful up here. It's sunshine. Like come out of there. But anyway, I'm listening to this interview with him, and he was talking about like how he doesn't live with regrets and that he doesn't even like the word regrets. And the people who were interviewing him, they kept, kind of drawing out some things in his life that he could be, ashamed of or regret or wish he could have done differently. Lottie, right? And regardless of what they brought up, he kept staying firm to, I don't have a regret about that because I wouldn't be who I am today, or I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity, or I wouldn't have been this. And he always drew it back to his regrets help create who he is today. So many of us will never and struggle to conceptualize that in our minds. That if you start extending some compassion and gratitude over even the mistakes that haunt you, stop allowing them to haunt you. They're only haunting you because you're allowing them to. Yes, people can throw them back up in your face, just like they did in that interview with Cartel. But you need to stand firm in recognizing that what I've been through helped shape who I am today. Yes, I could play and spend all this time of shoulda, coulda done this, shoulda, coulda, woulda done that. But what is that helping? How is that helping you to keep replaying what you could have done differently instead of taking that as a lesson and using it for your future life, the life that is ahead of you, and not focusing on the past, not looking on your rear view mirror constantly. There was a time where I got into a bad accident because someone rear-ended me, and I heard it coming before they actually hit my car. And what I noticed about myself from that day on is that I spent a lot of time looking in my rear view because I'm aware now. I'm more cautious of is someone driving crazy? Or if I hear someone speeding, I'm looking in my rear view, are they about to hit my car so I can evade it? And someone said to me once, what if you constantly looking in the rear view causes a whole nother accident? Because one, you're not focusing on what's ahead of you. Someone could stop short and then you rear end somebody because you're looking in the rear view. You're looking at your past. You'll get that later. And alternatively, sometimes we keep looking to avoid something, and we keep looking to avoid a mistake, and we make a mistake anyway, because there's been times that I'm looking in the rear view and I see someone driving crazy. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over to the left. And they go over to the left at the same time. And it could have been an accident, but by the grace of God, it didn't. But we set ourselves up for more problems. And there are certain things that you just can't avoid. And you're wasting time trying to avoid them. You're wasting time trying to be perfect. You're wasting time. This may hurt. You may not like this. It may rub up against your ego and may rub up against your pride, but you're wasting time trying to do all these good works and get everything right. There are so many amazing things that happen when you allow yourself to learn from your mistakes instead of being held captive by your mistakes. I was so interested in this thought as I was listening to his interview, and I was so appreciative that he never wavered on, I will not say that I live with regrets. I will not waver on this, I should be guilted by this or ashamed of that. He stayed firm in who he was and who he has become because of his experiences, that I started looking up okay, a lot of great things come from mistakes, yet our whole world teaches us to be afraid of mistakes. If you look at the education system, you make a mistake in school, you're penalized for it. You get a bad grade, you're held back a class, you're punished. The teacher yells at you, or if you make a mistake in your household growing up, like there's some type of consequence. Like our world runs off of penalizing people for mistakes instead of rewarding them for mistakes. And it got me to thinking, like, how many times have mistakes led to something great? And so I pulled up this like little list of like everything that I could find of like times where something was discovered or created from a mistake. And so I'm just going to read off a few to you. Super glue. Harry Coover, while trying to make clear plastic for gun sights, Coover's team accidentally created a substance that stuck to everything. And it was initially discarded, but then later they repurposed it as super glue. And we use super glue for a lot of things. There was one about a microwave that I came across that really shook me. So the microwave, the microwave oven, didn't know how this came into be, but Percy Spencer in 1945, while working on radar technology, he noticed a candy bar in his pocket melted when he was near the magnetron equipment. And this led to the development later of the microwave oven. Penicillin, probably the more known mistake that led into a blessing, by Alexander Fleming, 1928. Fleming accidentally left a petri dish uncovered and it began to grow mold. And then they later noticed that it was killing the surrounding bacteria, leading to the discovery of penicillin, the first true antibiotic, by the way, which saved so many lives and blessed so many people. Post-it notes. If you are my fellow clinicians in mental health, and also just healthcare providers in general, many people appreciate some Post-it notes. But Post-it notes were also a mistake, quote unquote. Spencer Silver, 1968, was trying to create a super strong adhesive, but ended up making a weak one. Years later, his colleague, Arthur Fry, used it to anchor bookmarks in his hymnal, eventually developed the Post-it notes. X-rays, Wilhelm Conrad, I'm going to mess up that last name, Roentgen. 1895. He was experimenting with cathode rays when he noticed a glow coming from a fluorescent screen across the room. This accidental observation led to the discovery of X-rays. Here's one that is a little bit more fun and so interesting. Like, your mistakes can be used for good or bad. Coca-Cola, John Pemberton, in 1886. He was trying to make a cure for headaches and morphine addiction. I did not know this. And he ended up creating the syrup that we now know as became Coca-Cola. That's crazy because Coca-Cola is not great for you. It's really not good for your body. Soda in general. I just thought it was funny that he was trying to create a cure for something and ended up creating something that isn't so great. I'm not even going to get on a soapbox about that. Just one more. I'll read. Potato chips. See, this is what happens when you're trying to be spiteful. So potato chips, George Crumb, 1853. After a customer complained his fries were too thick, Crumb sliced them paper thin out of spite, and the potato chip was born, and it actually became popular. And then there's chocolate chip cookies. Those were a mistake. Popsicles. It was a ton of mistakes that turned into the great things that we love, enjoy, and appreciate or are healed by today. So I share that so that you can start thinking differently about your mistakes, so that you can stop allowing your mistakes to be this ghost hidden under a gown haunting around you. And you turn around, you rip that gown off and see the promises, see the hopes, see the possibilities under that cloak. And you're not being haunted by this quote unquote ghost of your mistakes or ghost of your past. Instead, start seeing how the things you've been through, how the mistakes, quote unquote, you've made are actually setting you up for being that amazing person that you are today. I was talking with one of my clients who was just really beating themselves up about a mistake that they made. And I pointed out to them that a lot of the things that over the years he's been able to do in the lives of some of his friends, and the wisdom he's been able to share, would have never been able to do that had it not been for the mistakes that he gone through. And I think about that with my life. There are so many things that I've shared with my clients that has blessed them, that they've been appreciative of, or they said like, oh my gosh, that really helped me, or that really comforted me to hear that. I wouldn't be able to share any of those things if it wasn't for the quote unquote mistakes I've made, or the things that I've done that I could regret. But now I look at it with more compassionate eyes, and I'm saying like, yeah, I learned about something. I became a better person. I became a better clinician. And I wouldn't have had any of those realizations or epiphanies had I not gone through some of that. And I think that sometimes we have to look at our life as a garden. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been, leaning into my green thumb some. And I'm so proud of my plants. They're so gorgeous. But what I realized through gardening, and just like, not necessarily just gardening, but just like keeping plants. And don't get crazy, majority of my plants are indoors. But there are times when I notice little critters, and you may know how much I hate bugs, in my plants. And I realized that, because I immediately wanted to get rid of them. But if I got rid of them, this thing that I don't like, it would also harm the plant, because they contribute to that plant. They help the plant thrive the way it's thriving. It's its natural, more of its natural habitat, right? And so sometimes we have to look at our life in that same lens. There may be some things crawling around in your past that you may not like. There may be some things in the future that you may do or say and you wish you could take it back. And there may be some regrets that you could have, or you can look at them as all a part of the garden that creates who you are today. The garden that allows you to have the wisdom that you have today, to be as insightful as you have. Sometimes we're praying for wisdom and insight and to grow in being strong and intelligent. Well, none of that happens without some mistakes. It doesn't happen without you getting some things wrong. It doesn't happen without you learning some things, from getting your hands a little dirty, getting in there and feeling your way through it. Yes, you can get instruction from people, but something miraculous happens when you've done it for yourself, because you speak with a certain level of confidence when you speak from your experiences versus what someone done told you. I see that even in myself as a clinician. When I'm speaking from what I've experienced and can vouch for because of what I've experienced and what I know to be true, and what I've seen time and time again to be true, I'm way more confident. And I'll take a little pushback, but I'll push right back when I stand 10 toes down on what I know to be true. And on the other hand, when it's something that I've been told or taught, I speak about it, but maybe not with the same enthusiasm or that same vigor or that same or that confidence. And so I've learned to appreciate what I go through and what I've learned from the things that I'm like, oh, I will never do that again. And I'm appreciative of that feeling that comes with it. Because sometimes when we think about the past, it comes with like that shame, or it can come with the heaviness. We remember the pain associated with whatever that mistake or regret was. We think about all of that. And sometimes you got to like hold that and say, okay, yeah, I may not like that I did that, but how is that serving as water and nutrients for who I am today? The mistakes that I've gone through, how is it used to be fruitful today? Right? And once you start looking at your past and your mistakes like that, you'll be able to appreciate all parts of your life. You'll be able to focus more on the present. You'll be able to be more mindful of the here and now. And you won't feel haunted by your past or anxious for your future because you're so afraid of making a mistake. Do not allow your mistakes to hold you captive. Don't allow them to hold you from your future either. Don't allow them to get in front of you and put up that hand and just push you back and say, no, you're not qualified enough, or no, remember when this happened, or no, remember you did that. Push back and say, no, because I've been through that, I am more qualified today. Because I did that, I have more wisdom today. Because I've learned from that past, I'm able to sow seeds of life and hope and encouragement into the people that are around me today and for myself. So I know what to look out for. I know what's a red flag. I know better when something doesn't, go well with my spirit. I'm able to see that better because of what I've gone through back then. And now I can see my future better and I can step confidently in it because I'm no longer afraid of making a mistake. And I know that it's okay if I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's my encouragement for you guys this week. That's my hope for you guys, is to go on and let God take them shackles off of you. Yeah, sometimes we put shackles on ourselves because we keep thinking about the past. Kick them suckers off and embrace who you are today. And my challenge for you, sometimes you got to do the silly thing. I love art and I love activities, and I don't know about y'all, but I love like a fruitful conversation that gives me something to take away with me. So my encouragement to you is to take some time this weekend or just like whatever your schedule looks like, take some time though and draw out what your garden looks like. Maybe you don't want to get all artsy. I love a good arts and craft. I love a good collage. I am all for some paint and like just getting crafty. That's my thing. It doesn't have to be your thing. Maybe your thing is pictures and photography. Maybe your thing is music. Maybe your thing is writing poetry. Maybe your thing is creating accessories or jewelry. Whatever your thing is, your outlet is, create a version of that represents the garden of your life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the appreciated, the not so appreciated, the things that you love, and the things that you are going to learn to love. And just have it as a reminder somewhere for yourself that everything that you go through, everything that you've done, everything that you've said has all come down to creating who you are today. And you can use it to become an even better version of yourself today, the next day, and the next day, and not being anxious about that. And when we set our mistakes before God and we put those things before God, we set our burdens before Him. He does the heavy lifting. Our part is to just keep going. Like, pull a Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. She made a lot of mistakes in that movie, in both of the movies. She made a lot of mistakes, but they ended up being things that made her story so much more powerful, that allowed her to learn so many things about herself and how to be strong and to be courageous. So that's my encouragement for y'all. I'm still working on trying to put a little pretty bow on the end of these episodes, but I ain't got nothing for you today. So my hope is that you take this with you, that you get a little creative this weekend, do something to represent like your garden. I would love to hear about that. Like, oh my gosh, if you want, no pressure, but like if you guys would share that with me, I would just be like, oh my gosh, I love it. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace out. Oh, and remember, faith helps.